Extinct is supposed to mean gone forever, not anymore. Right now, scientists are bringing animals back from the dead, and some have already done it. The dire wolf vanished over 10,000 years ago, and it's alive again today. Others are just months away from walking the earth one more time. And number one is the one everyone's been waiting for, a giant, hairy creature straight from the Ice Age. So make sure to watch till the end. Number 7. Dire wolf, an Ice Age hunter that vanished from North America more than 12,000 years ago. But here's what almost no one tells you about its so-called comeback. Scientists couldn't pull usable dire wolf DNA from fossils that old, so they tried something stranger. They started with a living gray wolf. Dire wolf bones told them which genes to rewrite. Picture changing a few words inside a book thousands of pages long. Those edited cells went into egg cells. Therefore, ordinary dogs could carry the pups to birth. A Dallas company, Colossal Biosciences, pulled it off. 3 pups exist today: Romulus, Remus, and a female named Khaleesi. The males arrived in late 2024, the sister months later. They're real, breathing animals, growing up right now on a secret, fenced preserve. Now the catch. Colossal changed only about 14 genes out of roughly 19,000. A dire wolf differs from a gray wolf by millions of bits of DNA. So even Colossal's own chief scientist calls the pups gray wolves with edits, not dire wolves. What lives out there wears the face of a ghost, but it isn't the ghost. Imagine being sold a miracle that's really a costume. The next animal barely made the history books, the bluebuck, added only weeks ago. Number 6. The bluebuck. The bluebuck, a South African antelope that European hunters shot out of existence around 1800. The first big African animal we know we drove extinct. But here's what no one's telling you. A company wants to build it again, not find it, build it. Picture this. A living antelope grazes in Africa right now. The roan, a close cousin of the bluebuck. Scientists found faint traces of bluebuck DNA inside a single 200-year-old specimen kept in a Swedish museum. Just one specimen. All that's left. So now they can hold the 2 animals side by side, hunting for the code that made the bluebuck what it was. The goal, rewrite that code inside living roan cells, growing a calf shaped like an animal lost for centuries. The company is Colossal Biosciences, the same team behind the dire wolf. They've worked quietly since 2024. So far, they've mapped the genome, narrowed millions of differences to 20,000 that matter, but no calf exists. Nothing is alive. It's all still in a lab. Here's the catch. Even if it works, that calf will not be a bluebuck. It'll be a roan antelope edited to look like a bluebuck, an animal with nowhere to belong since the world it grazed is gone. But the bluebuck isn't the strangest case on this list. The next animal was already brought back to life once, for just minutes. Number 5. Pyrenean ibex. The Pyrenean ibex, a wild mountain goat from the cliffs of Spain, gone since 2000, when the last one was crushed by a falling tree. But here's what almost no one tells you. This goat didn't stay gone. Before that last animal died, scientists saved a scrap of her skin in a deep freeze tank. Years later, they thawed those cells. Picture this. They take an egg from an ordinary farm goat, scoop out its DNA, slip the dead ibex's DNA inside instead. One small jolt of electricity. The egg begins to grow. They place it into a living goat to carry. A Spanish researcher named José Folch led the team. In July 2003, one try worked. A baby ibex was born, alive, breathing, the first creature ever pulled back from total extinction. But the newborn lived only minutes. One of her lungs had formed wrong, so she couldn't breathe. She died right there in their hands. She was only a copy of one dead female goat. No mate, no herd. So the bucardo became the only animal in history to go extinct twice. Number 4. Moa, a flightless bird taller than a grown man, wiped out of New Zealand 600 years ago. But a company in Texas claims it can drag this bird back from the dead. Scientists pull scraps of DNA from old moa bones, rewrite the genes of a living cousin, hoping to shape that bird into something moa-like. One problem stops them cold. A moa egg was about 80 times bigger than a chicken egg. Therefore, no living bird could ever hatch one. So they built an egg from scratch, a man-made shell that grows a chick with no mother. The company company, Colossal Biosciences, works with the Maori group Ngai Tahu and filmmaker Peter Jackson, who poured in millions. In May 2026, they hatched healthy chicks inside those artificial eggs. But picture what came out. Ordinary chicks, not a moa. No moa is alive today. None has been born. Even if it works, experts warn you won't get the real bird, just a living look-alike with a few genes swapped in. Remember the dire wolf? It turned out to be a gray wolf with a handful of edits. One scientist said it flat: extinction is forever. They built the egg. Whether anything inside it ever becomes a true moa is another question. Next, at number 3, a striped hunter gone less than 100 years. Its grainy footage still haunts people. Would you rather science spend millions rebuilding a bird gone 6 centuries, or save the animals still alive today? Number 3, the thylacine. Right now, there is a science lab in Texas. Inside that lab is a small animal called a dunnart. A dunnart looks a bit like a mouse, and it has a pouch like a kangaroo. Scientists have changed some of its genes. They hope these changes can help rebuild an animal that died out almost 90 years ago. That animal was the thylacine. The thylacine was a meat eater shaped like a dog, and it had stripes on its back. People used to call it the Tasmanian tiger. A company called Colossal Biosciences wants to bring the thylacine back, but Colossal is not making a copy of an old one. Instead, it works with scientists at the University of Melbourne. Together, they slowly change the genes of the living dunnart. The dunnart is the thylacine's closest living relative. They keep changing its gene code until it matches the thylacine's code, and they have made real progress. They have put back together almost the whole gene code of the thylacine. This code is like a full recipe for building the animal. They got the code from a thylacine head that is 110 years old. The head had been kept in a jar of liquid so it would not rot. So now they have a plan they can copy. They have also made more than 300 changes inside one cell, and they hope to have a living animal in about 8 years. But let's be honest, there is no living thylacine in the world today, and the team still needs to make thousands more changes. Last year, Colossal showed off some animals it called dire wolves. Many people pushed back right away. They said those animals were really just gray wolves with a few old genes added in. They were not true dire wolves. So people ask the same hard question about this thylacine project too. Say an animal is born with stripes and hunts like a thylacine, but it was really built from a dunnart. Is the thylacine truly back, or did we just make a clever copy, something that wears its face but isn't really a thylacine? Number 2, the dodo. Right now, in a lab in Texas, scientists are growing cells. They want to build a bird that has been gone for 300 years. The dodo was a round, chunky bird that could not fly. It was about as big as a turkey. It lived on just one island, called Mauritius. A company called Colossal Biosciences is trying to bring the dodo back. But birds cannot be cloned. You can't just make an exact copy of one. So instead, the team is rewriting the genes of the dodo's closest living relative. Genes are like the body's set of instructions. That relative is a bird called the Nicobar pigeon. Here is the plan. First, they change the pigeon cells until those cells carry dodo traits, the things that make a dodo a dodo. Then they put those cells into normal chickens. The hope is that one day, those chickens will lay eggs that hatch into dodos. The newest big win came from Colossal, the same company. They grew special pigeon cells, the kind of cells that pass traits on to the next baby bird. No one had ever done that before, but the team won't promise a date. So a real, living dodo is still many years away. So is the dodo back? Not even close. For now, the project is just cells in a dish, with some chickens waiting nearby. And even if a dodo-shaped bird finally hatches, many scientists say it won't be a real dodo. They say it would just be a changed pigeon inside a dodo's body. Colossal says that if it looks like a dodo, that is good enough. But the people who disagree say a few small changes can't rebuild a whole lost animal. So picture that bird waddling across Mauritius again, perfect down to every feather. Would you call that a dodo back from the dead, or just a clever copy of something that is gone forever? Number 1, the woolly mammoth. The company Colossal Biosciences has made a promise, a living mammoth calf by 2028. Not a fossil, not a model, a real one. You probably already know the mammoth. It was a huge, hairy animal with long tusks. It was a cousin of today's elephants, and it once lived in the cold, frozen north. So how do you bring back an animal that hasn't taken a breath in thousands of years? A company called Colossal Biosciences has a strange plan. Instead of copying a mammoth exactly, Colossal starts with an Asian elephant, the mammoth's closest living relative. Then they change the elephant's genes to add mammoth features, like thick fur, small ears, and a heavy layer of fat. The next step is the bold part. A living elephant mother would carry that changed embryo, basically a tiny, early-stage baby, until a calf is born. It sounds impossible, but the work has already started. Colossal has already changed the genes of mice, so they grow long, woolly hair like a mammoth's. Colossal has also collected more than 50 maps of mammoth genes to help guide its next steps. The goal? A first baby mammoth by 2028. But here's the creepy part. No mammoth exists yet, only those furry mice and some cells inside glass dishes. Even if a hairy calf is finally born, some experts warn that you won't be looking at a true mammoth. You'll be looking at an elephant wearing a mammoth's coat. So when that calf takes its first breath, is the mammoth really back? Or is it just a copy built to look like one? Across all 7 animals, the same question recurs. Have they truly come back? Not 100% yet, but de-extinction is real. Most of them are already growing as cells and embryos in laboratories, ready to return to the wild. And one of them walks the earth today, as we saw earlier, proof that what was lost can be reclaimed. So is this amazing or a mistake? It is amazing.